Hey guys, so we're going to pop over to lesson 7.4 and 7, let's do a slash, 7.5, and we're going to be talking about the two other operations in solving equations. So solving equations using multiplication or division. So this is the tougher one because there's some tricky things that show up. Okay, using multiplication or division. So, just like with addition, we have inverse operations, okay? So, I'm going to give you two examples. 2x equals 10, and a divided by 3 equals 7. So, for our inverse operations, in the first one, we would have, if we start with multiplication, the inverse would be using division. And I have to be honest with you, this is the majority of the types of problems that we solve, okay? And if we start with division, which looks like a fraction, then we're going to use multiplication to undo it. So this is, again, the tougher of the two. So bottom line, it's the reason why we do this is our primary goal is to get the variable alone on the left of the equation. That's your goal. We want to be able to get our answer to be the variable, and it's any letter, equals, and then a number. Here, I'll write it out. Not everybody knows that symbol. They think it's hashtag. Okay? Okay, so let's kind of look at those two examples we have. So in general, remember, if I have a number butted up to a variable, that means it's a multiplication problem, okay? So there would be a multiplication between those two. So in order to undo multiplication, we're going to do the inverse of multiplication, and up above we said that would be division. So we're going to do the division property of equality. Division property of equality, and we're going to divide both sides by that coefficient. Remember, that's the number that's being multiplied with a variable. Okay? So this is how we show division, not with the division symbol, but with the fraction bar division symbol, okay? So what happens is that 2 divided, it is not equal 0. I get such a bad habit with that. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then that's going to leave me with x, and then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So then we always want to check our work to make sure that we've done it right, because I can make silly mistakes. And is 2 times 5 equal to 10, and we get 10 equals 10. So when I replace x with 5, then I get balance in my equation and both sides equal the same value. So that proves that x equals 5. Now on the other one, this is a little bit more interesting. When I have a division problem, I need to do the inverse of division, and we've written up above that the inverse of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by a number. Now here's what you got to pay attention to. You need to show the multiplication in the opposite location from where the number is. So right now the number's in the denominator, so I have to show the math up high in the numerator, because what I want to create is 3 divided by 3 is 1, okay? If it's down below, then it doesn't eliminate. So then that gives me 8 times 1 is 8, and 7 times 3 is 21. So then I can do my check, and I always recommend you do checks because it's really sad when you get points off on a test because your math is incorrect. And we get 3 goes into 21 7 times, so that's true. So that means when A equals 21, 21 divided by 3 is going to equal 7, okay? And that is the multiplication property of equality because I'm multiplying both sides of my equation. Multiplying, see, I say it. We're going to try that again. Multiplication property of equality because I'm multiplying both sides by the same thing, which maintains balance, okay? All right, so we're going to go to the next screen, and we're going to do a boatload. That means a lot of practice. So our directions are going to say solve and check your solution. When the math is easy, I'll go through it mentally. And so some of the problems, that's how I will show my check. But when it gets a little too tricky, especially if there's fractions or decimals, then that's when I would probably have to do it out on paper. Okay, so we're going to do probably, I want to give as many different types of problems as I can. So we may do I don't know, we'll see. Actually, I'm going to just do the harder ones because we already have examples on the other page of the easier ones. That's right. Let's do this. So let's start with decimals. So 9.4g equals 28.2. So first thing I do is I identify the operation going on. The 9.4 and g are being multiplied, so the inverse of multiplying would be dividing. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9.4. And as I mentioned, the majority of the time, you're going to have a multiplication problem that you're going to undo by using division, okay? So on this side, we get those equal 1, and then 1 times g is g. The other side, we're going to have to do a little bit of work. So I'm going to do that off to the side, and let's see what I get. Actually, let me do it in a different color so it sticks out. 9.4 dividing into 28.2. First off, I can't divide by decimals, so I have to move the decimal point over 1. Whatever I do to him, I got to do the guy underneath, then bring it up. 94 and that. So let's see. I think it's 3. Because I know 3 times 4 is 2, 12, and that 27 was 28. Yeah. Look at that. It worked out to be a whole number, 3. Okay, now, when it comes to these guys, I do check, okay? I do check because I don't know. So I'm going to do 9.4 times 3, and we want to know, does that equal 28.2? So I'm going to do that over here. I get 12, 27 ones, 28, 1 digit after the decimal point. So the answer is yes. So I agree, G equals 3. All right, let's try another one with the harder stuff. Oh, let's just have a fraction one. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so we get 1/3 x equals 7. Okay, now, because the coefficient, the numerator of the coefficient is 1, if I multiplied 1/3 times x, I would get x thirds equals 7. So now it kind of looks like a problem that's a division problem. Isn't that weird? But there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply up high by 3. That's going to get this to equal 1, and x times 1 is x, and 7 times 3 is 21. So then I'm going to do a little check, and we're going to do, is 1/3 of 21 actually equal to 7? So let's see. Yeah, 3 goes into 21 7 times. So what that tells me is x is equal to 21. Okay, now here comes a real doozy. I hope you're holding on because this is super crazy. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Yeah. So, because of that coefficient equaling 1, I was able to get away with stuff. This one, not so much. Okay, so problem number 1 is that I need to have a fraction, okay? So I'm going to write down some steps over here. So, number 1, coefficient must be a fraction. So we have a mixed number, so we're going to convert it to a fraction, an improper fraction at that. So remember, we multiply 3 times 10 is 30, plus 1 is 31. So I get 31 halves, or 31 thirds, excuse me. X equals 8. Okay, now this is going to be a toughie, but I want you to follow this. We're going to get rid of the 31 and the 3 at the same time, okay? We're going to multiply both sides, because dividing by a fraction gives you a fraction. It's crazy. Oh, see, I said the word and I wrote that. Both sides by the reciprocal, or flip, of the coefficient. So that's what's unusual about this problem, okay? So we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 31 thirds, which is 3 31sts. Now I am going to give 8 a denominator to see if that will make things easier. So what happens here is we get 3 over 3 is 1, 31 over 31 is 1. So that's what happens when you multiply reciprocals or multiplicative inverses, you get 1. So we get x equals, and then we're going to, 8 and 31, no, 3 and 1, no, multiply straight across, 24 31sts. Okay, definitely going to check this one. Oh my word. So the 10 and 1/3 is going to get written as the improper fraction, 31 thirds. Then we're going to multiply it by the answer, 24 31sts. And we want to know, will that give me 8? So look what happens. 31 divides into itself evenly. 3 goes into itself once and into 24 8 times. So I just get 8 equals 8. So that means, yep, that answer is correct. Okay? Whew, doozy. All right, let's go to the next one. Now the next one is going to look like what I got on number 2 once I multiplied the coefficient and the variable. So this one, it's already ready for us. So this is a division problem, right? Because I'm dividing the x by 8. So I'm going to go ahead, and isn't that funny? We had all these division problems, and we did multiplication all the time on those. That's not always the case. So here, remember, we're going to get rid of a denominator by multiplying both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. X times 1 is x, and then 9 times 8 is 72. So I'm going to do this one mentally. 72 divided by 8 is 9. That's what it said I was supposed to get. So that's my answer, is x equals 72. Okay, number 5. So we got a couple of doozies over here. Let's throw back in some decimals. Y divided by 1.2 is equal to 0.24, or y divided by 1 2/10 is equal to 24 hundredths. So again, we're going to multiply, so inverse of dividing, so we're going to multiply both sides, I'm going to put a little x there, by 1.2. So 1.2 divided by itself is 1, y times 1 is y. And then off to the side, I'm going to do the math. So let's do it over here. 24 times 12, 8, 4, placeholder, 4, 2, 8, 8, 2. But there's 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal point. So I get for my answer 0.288, or 288 thousandths. Okay, now I'm definitely going to check this one on the paper. So let's see. The check would be, is 0.288 divided by 1.2, does that actually equal 24 hundredths? So off to the side, I'm going to do my math. Set it up correctly. I'm going to move the decimal point over so it's a whole number. Move it over the same amount here. Got to treat it fair. 12 goes into 28 twice, which is 24 with 4 left over. And 12 goes into 48 4 times evenly. Hey, yeah, I get oops, I don't know where that 0 should be there. 24 does equal 0.24. So I just proved that answer is correct. Okay. Last one is the ugly. Well, some of these have already been pretty ugly, but let's see. We've got y divided by 3 is equal to 1 3/5. So we got to have a playing field. We can't deal with the mixed numbers, so we are going to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Remember what I did. I multiplied the 5 times the 1, and then added the 3. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, so I get 8 thirds. All right, so now I'm going to multiply by 3. I'm going to multiply by 3. So when I multiply by 3, I could really make it 3 over 1 to make it easier to see. So 3 divided by itself is 1, 3 divided by itself is 1. So what I'm left with, oh, this answer wasn't so bad. This also gives me a 1, so I get y equals 8. Wow, that's pretty interesting. So then we're going to test that out, make sure it's right. And is 8 divided by 3 actually equal to 1 3/5? So 8 over 3 equals 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Yep, it works. So that verifies that the answer is y equals 8. All right, wow, blast to the very beginning of the year with our fractions and our decimals. All right, guys, good luck with this. Talk to you later. Bye now.